Okay, we're rolling. I'm ARob. We're at the Upstate Culture headquarters, and I'm here with Solo. I think you know him. And then we've got Andy here. That's my real life. Everybody's a bro, but that's my real life bro. He's my brother.
Only one of me.
Only one. So Andy and Solo are here. I've had some interesting things happen today prior to this episode that we're going to shoot, and I'm going to get right to it. Solo just pulled up. Andy knows about what's going on. He's been kind of part of this today. I'm going to get right to it. Solo's just hearing all this, okay? So here's the story. Tonight we're addressing what's called Randonautica. And the basic description of Randonautica is manifestation, and that there's messages to be gleaned along the way of the manifestations that you make. And maybe even further, that we do it on a daily basis. I thrift shop. I go to thrift shops. I'm keeping this real brief. Earlier this week, I picked up a book. I thought it was just cool. It's, hey, Gone with the Wind. I didn't even think twice about it. It was a couple of a dollar maybe, I think, something like that. I grabbed it, tossed it to the side. Okay, so fast forward to today. My brother's coming up to shoot an episode about Randonautica, okay? My brother and I, when he was on the way, I ran to a thrift shop this morning. And this book was at the thrift shop, Gone with the Wind. I almost didn't get it because it was $4. And the lady brought up about cancel culture and how cancel culture has is becoming hard to find anything related to Gone with the Wind now. And as a collector, I went ahead and grabbed it. So then my brother arrives, and I'm rushing to get back here to the headquarters and meet up with him. And then we decide to go thrift shopping again. I don't even really know why, just because we were hungry and I wanted to show you the local stuff. Okay, so we go to a thrift shop. I'm not going to name which one. I am going to kick my dog over out of the way, offset. Quiet on set, you. Okay, so Andy and I go back to the same thrift shop that I was at earlier this morning. Okay, I'm getting two items. See that glass bottle right there above you, the milk? Grab that. This is all happening like fluid as we go. We're 2 minutes in, so I'm keeping it brief. This bottle, Gentle's Dairy out of Rochester, New York, with art painted on it. And then a book, I just saw that it looked cool. This book, character sketches illustrated. I didn't think twice about it. It just is a handsome book. I grabbed it. When I'm in line with those two items, my brother is next to me at the thrift shop, and then there's this massive calamity, like somebody crashed into a wall. We're like, what? And this lady had knocked over all these frames in the store. So Andy runs over to help her with the frames. He runs over to help pick up the mess, right? Show them what the last thing was in the store. Now, I bought that first Gone with the Wind this morning, and the lady was like, yeah, we just don't get these in because, okay, she knows what they have. What was the last thing you picked up, Andy?
Well, I will tell you, before we went to the thrift store, you told me about Gone with the Wind, and did you know it was being canceled and all this other stuff?
I wasn't aware.
So in my head, I knew it was something that we had put into our mind. And the very last picture that I picked up was a picture of...
Okay, I'm back over here, over Solo, this guy, you know him. I'm over his shoulder. Okay, go ahead and open. I didn't see this. I just grabbed it, and Andy opened it. Open the very first page.
I'm nervous now.
Read that.
I am just a book, but I want to be a friend to you. I am so glad for you and many more to read and enjoy my message to you. So if you will please take care of me, I can be of help to many children for many years to come. Keep me clean and do not drop me. That will hurt my back and might pull my leaves loose from my spine. Don't ever mark on me.
And then
Thanks.
What are the first things we see here? Not only do we see two distinct marks, it's also torn. Now look at the binding.
Spine.
Now flip through, bro.
I wish we had marked the one with the devil on it.
The
Oh,
devil
wow.
is one of the most terrifying things. There's even more weirdness.
The
What is
crook
this?
and the crank.
Now, this is so very... There's marks on this too, right there.
Fight with a conscience.
Okay, so the fact that the frames crash down, Andy picks that up in conjunction with what I basically went back to grab, and I just had this in my hand at the exact same moment, didn't think twice about it. This is weird.
There's some drawing right there.
This is some weird stuff, right? I don't know what this is. Again, we're all seeing this in real time. Now, we have, where's our magnifying? Grab that, Andy. Okay.
I don't know if that'll be a video.
The first page, go back. It will help you. Open that, turn that.
One more page.
Keep going. Okay, that's, I guess, what does that say?
Reverend Geo A. Lofton.
George A. Lofton, AMDD. So he was a dentist also. Okay. So turn the page.
Blackboard mirror.
Yeah, the blackboard mirror is referenced here.
There's a Black Mirror show that I watched.
Okay, here. Read that with this thing. Look at, I want to film it. I think I can get it bigger here.
Copyrighted in 1898 by J.R. Florida. All rights reserved. Notice the illustrations appearing in this work are from...
Is that the other
Here's
one?
this one right
This
here.
one right
This
here.
one?
Read the dedication.
I'm very sorry.
Ah, there we go.
1898. That's it.
1898 dedication to my fellow beings, old or young, afflicted with the sins, vanities, or misfortunes of life, struggling against the trials, conflicts, or temptations of the world, inspired by the loftier motives, purposes, and hopes of time and eternity. This volume is dedicated by the author.
Now, the reason I find this interesting is we knew we were going to do Randonautica and manifest our intents, our own individual intent for each journey. Tonight, when we film this, we're going to do 3 different journeys. We'll come back each time. We're each going to upload the app to our phone, so we each have a separate from one another, and the starting point will always be here at Upstate Culture Headquarters. But what I was already thinking about was historical old document. That's what I would have thought about tonight, and I almost feel like I should stick with that. Now, what I want to do tonight for this episode, guys, here's what we're going to do. It's twofold. We're also going to go to a haunted house, but that's after we do 3 Randonautica journeys. The house is absolutely haunted, but for the Randonautica journeys, look at these sexy little handsome business cards.
Look.
Each of us 3 are going to write a separate manifestation on the back and fold it up and put it in our pocket. So when it's our turn, none of us, the other people don't know it. When we roll up on the coordinates, we'll take it out and hand it to the other 2, and they can read it, and we'll film them reading it, but we're not going to say what the intent is.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Well, what I find fascinating about all of this is it proves that manifestation can happen if you pay attention, and it doesn't take an application on your phone to manifest things, which brings into question all kinds of things about reality. And
I don't know anything
can it
about
really be controlled, or would this all have happened
if the books.
If we had never talked about Gone with the Wind? Would I have?
I don't know why Gone with the Wind. I don't know anything. I could care less about Gone with the Wind.
It's
It
the
just
thought
came up.
process. It's thinking about it.
It was in conversations
That
today.
was the one thing I've always been saying for years. If you think about it, like I went and looked at a car. Man, I really like that car. And all of a sudden, I start seeing
That car everywhere. Yes.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, there's.
So is that Mandela effect, or is Mandela effect we all just think about it and then it sort of becomes our
it's
collective
one of those,
reality?
like,
Is it a collective?
Why am I seeing that more now that I'm
Yeah,
thinking about
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
But it's also how many times have you seen a car or seen a house or whatever in your life and say, I can see me driving that.
So speaking of what we're going to see, I'm going to cut this off because we keep our episodes short. We're doing the 3 Randonauticas. We'll find out what happens with that. Next, we're going to go to a house in. It has to all be anonymous.
Yes.
We have a cameraman. The cameraman's going to be anonymous. There was a death associated with the house. I'm going to leave it at that, okay? But it is absolutely, emphatically haunted. Andy brought some ghost hunting equipment. Do you have that handy that you could show us?
I do.
We have okay, so one of the, I didn't tell you about ITC.
Do you want to do that?
Can you Google ITC, what it stands for? I forgot what it's an acronym for. Just ITC Ghost Hunting. The TV behind you is a 1988 television, okay? It is not digital. It picks up electromagnetic field. The static electricity on that is actual airwave static. Mm-hmm. The haunted house is near power lines, which is also a huge bonus for what we're going to be doing tonight, okay? So we messed around with some ITC and set up a camera in front of that,
Mm-hmm.
and you zoom in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we all see faces in clouds.
Yeah.
Andy has some footage. When you go back and play it, and you can do the scroll frame by frame,
Mm-hmm.
there are certain things when it's playing, you see a white flash. When you go to that white flash, there's a face.
Oh, wow.
And it's impressive.
Is it almost?
It's on his phone.
It's kind of thing where you see something.
No, dude, these are just. It's
like,
not only, and there's one part where I'm saying, give me a pattern, and doggone if there's not a pattern.
Oh wow.
A pattern creates.
ITC means instrumental transcommunication.
Thank you. Instrumental transcommunication, and it's essentially, it only works with these old TVs. Tonight we have the voice recorders for EVP. I don't know how much I want to. I'm not going to go review a lot of that, so we can do review on the fly.
Just say
if you hear something, we are prepared.
Yes.
Andy and I used to do this. And this is infrared. I got to figure out how to hook these up.
Yeah, my DVR, because we.
But I think we can still do this on the fly with another TV I have. So we may even have infrared. Andy also has an infrared app as well, where he can, if things start ramping up, he can take photos and we'll get infrared impressions. So, what do you think? What do you think about this?
Excited. Like,
is that that's weird, isn't it? It's weird.
Well, the serendipitous of thinking of, oh wow, like.
And anything within this radius is going to be kind of gone with the wind. Sort of. This whole area is kind of steeped in that sort of. You know, that was the backdrop for a long time here, and it's a farm area, and there's a lot of field, you know,
there's a lot.
That was probably a prevalent thing for a while. So, but anyway, this is how it starts. We're going to start getting set up, and we'll catch you on the next step of the Randonautica and Ghost Hunt. See ya. Okay, just coming back to an update. We all three just installed the Randonautica app on our phones, so in between each journey, we'll come back and sort of process it and talk about it. And the Randonautica app we're using has the owl in the little location marker, right? Yeah. That's what it is. It's an owl, and I guess that's got some representations. Do you have that handy? What the owl is supposed to be representative of?
Well, there's according to their own website and their own application.
Yeah.
There's basically 9 tenets of randonauting and being a true randonaut. Seeing in the dark, which basically means being able to, it's a symbolic thing of being able to have hidden wisdom and hidden knowledge.
Huh.
It tells you to venture with mindfulness, to have an open mind about whatever your experience is, regardless if you're skeptical of it. Bringing that open mind allows more of these quantum things to occur. Be sincere about it. Don't go into this joking around and just thinking it's, but be real serious about it. Keep your vibes, high vibes on whatever it is. So continue to think about whatever your intention is as you're even walking to the location.
This is really, I mean, what are we getting ourselves into? I don't know. If you, a lot of people, the reason we're doing this, because Solo, Andy, Solo and I, Solo lives here, Andy's visiting, but Solo and I were talking about it. Most people we've talked to don't know anything about this. They've never heard of Randonautica.
This is my first time hearing
it's a new thing, I guess. So we hope if you mess around with it, get the right one. It's the one with the owl on the location marker, but be careful. Do it sensibly. We don't know what's going to happen. This is literally all just kind of happening in real time. So the next leg, I guess soon we're going to start Randonauticing. We've all three written our individual intent on a Upstate Culture card. Nobody else saw it, and it's in our pockets.
Shameless plug.
We'll have to decide. We'll probably do rock, paper, scissors. Who's going to go first? And we'll leave it at that, and then we'll film what happens. So I think we should do maybe soon, so we have a little bit of daylight and nighttime.
Yeah. I'm ready to start now.
You ready?
Too. I don't know how to work this thing yet.
I don't either. The app is kind of confusing, but leave a comment below. Please subscribe to the Upstate Culture YouTube channel. Solo's running the Facebook page, so we'll keep you updated there as well. But all the good stuff's happening here in the YouTube channel. And what do we want you to do to that subscribe button? Oh yeah, this right here, smash. Please smash it. So yeah, we're gonna go see what happens. Hopefully we don't get smashed by dark forces. I think we're good, but this is really interesting. So
yes, I'm excited.
Yeah. All right, we'll get back with y'all. Okay, gang, we did rock, paper, scissors. The rotation is going to be Andy is first, Solo is second. Hi, yes. Solo. And ARob's going to go last. I want to do it in the dark, so talk us through this.
All right, so my understanding of the way that this works is you try and determine exactly what you're looking for. A void in some sort of electromagnetic quantum theory of theirs is typically where the dark things happen. Power typically is going to be an impactful thing, something where there's a high likelihood of your thing occurring. And a tractor, I'm sorry, I don't know enough. Now, you have certain limits. Up at the very top, it gives you 30 tokens per day at no charge.
For free, yeah. We're doing this on the free version.
Certain things will cost more tokens. I'm going to do avoid. That tends to be the more creepy things.
You've already got your manifestation in your pocket, right?
I already have it in my
we all do, actually.
I've manifested mine, and I'm about to start.
And we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to say it. When we get in that immediate area, we'll just... and I think we can do this map and also photographic. I think you can do satellite also, the layers part.
I don't know if we want to tell people where we're
going.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, got you. Yeah, we won't. We won't. Okay.
Right, so I just hit start. So our point is being generated. I don't know.
Here we go.
This takes.
We'll get back with you. Okay. Andy just typed it in, and it's actually sending us to a place very close to where I'm at, not far, less than 1 mile. And actually, on his fancy little car, he typed it in, and the car will talk us through it. So this is weird. Let's see what happens. What's happening? Here's what's going on. Andy did his manifestation. We're going to stop and look at his card. We did a satellite image. Let's stop right here to look at the card. We're not going to say, this is a place that's for sale. It's empty. We're going to look at his card before we go look at the actual spot.
Because they show the people? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay, open it. Let me see. Fascinating. Okay. This is where it's taken us, is in that general direction down here, right?
Yeah, and it looks like it's right 10 feet this side or that side of
in this yard. This property is for sale. I'm not going to say where, but let's go check it out. Andy, check your GPS so you know if we're getting there, because it shows exactly where it should be. So you should even be able to go into those coordinates. So let's find out.
All right, so it should be
somewhere in this area. This is a little weird indentation in the ground there, actually. I don't physically see anything that would resolve or involve tragedy. The spot literally feels like this indentation in the ground right here, but that's the only thing I got.
And who knows, maybe there was an accident here.
Could have been. Could have been.
Sort of real accident. I don't see any crosses.
How historical the railroad is around here.
Yeah.
There's definitely a good chance of that.
Some of the viewers will probably know where we're at, actually. I wouldn't be surprised.
Look at this old house right over
here.
Something could have.
Should we like peek in that? Should we want to peek in it?
I mean, why not?
We're gonna go look at this over here. There's a
I don't know if we're now getting into somebody else's grass.
Now, one thing I think that Andy's bringing up is there might be a level of tolerance on the Randonautica app as far as distance. So right next to us is a bunch of crashed up. Andy just noticed this, a bunch of crashed up cars. Appears to be on private property. We're not going to go over there. But certainly if there's a crashed up car, that might involve some level of tragedy. And it's also right beneath a 5G tower. So for some people, they might consider that to be tragic as well. But that is absolutely a 5G tower right above the pile of crashed up cars. So,
and then we also have that abandoned shed.
Yeah,
or whatever.
there's a shed, but it's sketchy on whether that's private property or if we don't want to get hemmed up. We don't want to cause any problems.
Definitely something back before.
Yeah, it predates it, yeah. Probably whatever's going on there, that little thing in the ground does also, whatever that is. I don't, for trucks to back in, yeah.
Load up.
So, yeah, probably not actually. So, yeah, that was adventure number 1. Nothing really.
Total bust.
No. At least we didn't get shot or
Cars are definitely always trash.
So we go back and do solos next, right?
Round 2.
Okay, we'll go back and reset and then do it on his phone. We'll be back. Okay, we're opening here with who this episode is not. I repeat, not sponsored by. I just drink it. Okay, so Solo's up to bat. Are you doing the random here? Are you doing it? You keep your mind open, head clear. We're gonna go do location number 2. You got coordinates? Start journey. Open with maps. It's kind of interesting to put it on the satellite layer when you do this. If you do Randonautica, if you put it on the satellite layer, it'll show actual photographs of the terrain, the area that you're arriving in. So
does it say how far away it is?
I'll have to hit start. We're going to go do number 2, guys. We'll be back. When we get there, we'll open up Solo's card. All right, so we just embarked on mission number 2. Tell us how this went. We haven't seen... Okay, we'll start off that we went to the location.
Yes.
Andy and I have not seen the card. We don't know what it was because we rolled up on somebody's private property. It looked like a road.
Yeah, it looked like just a barren road until you got further back in there. Like, oh,
And the actual location, the dot was showing, it looks like on a really old, like, barn kind of thing, right? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, that was... I watched it. That was about to...
And
we
it's
got
tough
ran
because we were
off.
right there.
Yeah, we got ran off. And the guy told us, we apologized, said we took a wrong turn, but he told us it happens every week, which is funny. So, okay, so let's look at Solo's card. And Andy, please, you get the honors. Let me flip around. Hang on. Okay, so vintage art. Great one. It was probably in that building. I wouldn't doubt it the least bit.
That's
It
what I
looked
said,
like...
in that
Yeah.
barn area that was back there.
Yeah.
I looked back and there was a lot of different things in there.
And that could have been a sign. You
Yeah,
know,
like-
But since we didn't make it there, Cholo, you have to just... Should he just think it or
Think it again?
whisper it to one of the girls?
Or I think he can use the same one if he wants to.
Do you want to do the same one?
Yeah.
I don't know if it works like that. I don't know if...
Do a different one?
Do a different one and whisper it to
Okay.
the girls. We're going to do a take 2, and once we get there, we'll let you know what it is, and the girls will tell us what it is, okay? We'll be back. Okay, we just finished
That was
Journey, the second Solo's take 2 on his. The first one ended up on private property. Relatively good assumption that what he had manifested was probably in that building, but it was on private property, so we turned around and got out. We did number 2. Tell us about what happened. You whispered your intent to your daughters.
Yeah.
So we go out there.
She wrote it down on her phone, saved it, and we went out there, and the place looked abandoned.
Can you pull up your phone? This is before we did the journey. This
Yeah.
right here, she wrote, it says right there, abandoned. That's before we headed out. It took us to a little neighborhood. It was, again, private property. But it was like a mobile home off in the distance. Distance? Yeah.
Yeah,
where
distance over yonder.
over yonder. Yeah. According to where the GPS pinpoint looked like. And that looked to me like the only abandoned thing there. Like somebody had a building just on their property, a house.
Well, what's interesting is Albert and I not knowing what the intent was. Albert, the first word he said when he looked at that trailer where the marking was it looks abandoned.
Yeah.
So I would call that a success.
Yeah, because I was like,
Agreed.
wait, what?
I'm okay with
like,
that.
When you
I'm
said
okay
the
with that.
word that I was
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So
I call that a
now
word.
we're back to the parking lot of Upstate Culture Headquarters. I've got my intent in my pocket. I'm going to stop filming and we'll head out for mine. And that'll be the final one. And then we're going to regroup. We've already talked to the homeowner of the haunted house, and we're going to then start prepping up for a haunted house. So we'll be back with whatever my intent is. All right, we just finished my Randonautica journey. My manifestation took us to actually a rather nice house, to their address, and we had to creep it several times. We drove back and forth, and Solo's holding my manifestation. If you can't see it, what does it say, Solo?
A box.
A box. We drove by several times looking in the satellite image so we could line it up with the actual yard that we saw, looking for a box. And finally, it seems that there was like a flat postal box on one of the chairs to the left of the door, and there was also a big plastic storage box leading up the side of the house. So, what do we think? Between all three, I'd say none of them were a horrible failure. It seems like a lot of it takes you to private addresses, which is a little awkward and uncomfortable.
Yes. Also, do not trespass if you do.
Yeah, we're not advocating that at all. And we also didn't manifest anything. Part of why Randonautica is becoming so talked about is a lot of people go out and they manifest things like crime or murder or stuff like that.
That's pretty PG.
Yeah. Well, we're classy like that. All that stuff you have to pay to watch it.
Really, the ultimate thing is does
Hold on. Let's start. Okay.
And I would say the ultimate question is, does it work? I mean, it's really a matter of
The chances are good you're going to find a box at a house somewhere.
And
And
are you reaching
Cholo,
too
you
far?
had vintage art. We didn't get to find that out. And then your second one was abandoned. That was just in that area. That's a well-to-do
I think
neighborhood.
I think my two are very plausible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, I believe that in an old shed like he had with old things in it, I'm pretty sure there was some
for vintage art.
items
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
And then ARob even called it without knowing what I picked. He said the exact word
About the, and
Yeah.
that's where the coordinates were lining up, was with that house. So, abandoned house. So, interesting. Check it out, Randonautica. Get the app. Be safe. Do it smartly. We're going to go start, Andy's turning here. We're going to start planning for a haunted house, a legitimate haunted house. Some bad things have happened. We'll talk about it once we regroup and start setting up for the investigation. See you soon.